Let's dive into something really mysterious today. Cup and ring stone.
Yeah, those ancient carvings, the ones with the cups and rings on rocks.
They're all over the place, too.
I know, right?
It's crazy.
Just thinking about it boggles my mind.
Like, how are they in so many places?
Exactly. Scotland,
Yep.
Australia.
Makes you wonder, ancient connections,
Were people back then sharing ideas,
across continents?
trading goods and ideas?
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Here's the thing, though.
What's that?
We don't really know what they meant to the people who carved them.
So, like,
Were they just doodling? Were they, like, super meaningful?
yeah, were they just messing around?
Or were they, like...
Or did they have some deeper meaning?
Yeah.
Craftsmanship is amazing on some of them.
Yeah, some of those designs are so intricate.
It must have taken forever to make them.
Oh, yeah. It was not a quick job.
We're talking
Months
maybe even
of chiseling away at rock.
solid rock, too.
With, like, the most basic tools.
Yeah, primitive tools.
Dedication.
How about dedication?
So we've got this globally spread ancient art
Right.
that took, like, forever to make.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, let's get to the good stuff.
What's that?
The mystery.
Yeah, the mystery.
What are the main theories?
About why these stones were even made.
Yeah.
Well, some researchers think they were, like, territorial markers.
Huh.
Kind of like,
You mean like property lines?
yeah, ancient property lines.
Oh, okay.
Imagine, like, marking off your land.
With a giant stone canvas.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, actually.
It is cool.
Wouldn't it be easier to do something more obvious, though?
What do you mean?
Like a pile of rocks or something.
Oh, yeah.
These carvings can be super subtle.
You have a good point.
Sometimes you can barely even see them.
It makes you think
Yeah.
who they were meant to be seen by.
Like, maybe not everyone.
Maybe just people who knew what to look for.
That makes it even more mysterious.
Definitely.
So, territorial marker.
That's one theory.
What are some other theories?
Well, there's also the theory that they were astronomical calendars.
Oh, interesting.
Some of the markings seem to, like, line up
What?
the sun and stars.
So they were tracking the stars.
Maybe.
What for?
Well, possibly tracking seasons,
Okay.
for planting.
Like knowing when to plant crops.
Exactly.
Or for like,
Or for important events.
oh, I see.
So basically, ancient farmers' almanacs.
Carved in stone.
Yeah.
That's clever.
Oh, right.
It also means that they had to understand astronomy.
That's right.
Pretty impressive for ancient people.
Very impressive.
What else?
Let's see.
What are some of the other theories?
Some people think they had spiritual significance.
Oh.
We find them near burial sites sometimes,
Huh.
and also near, like, other places.
What kind of places?
Places that could have been used for rituals.
I see.
Maybe they were leaving messages to the god or honoring their ancestors.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then there's Dr. Richard B. Newth.
Who's that?
Well, he's a researcher who thinks they were linked to trade routes.
Trade route.
Yeah.
How so?
Well, his work shows that a lot of these stones
Uh-huh.
are clustered along what would have been major pathways.
Between settlements, they were like, ancient signpost.
Oh,
For travel.
for travelers.
Turn left at the spiral rock for the best pottery deals.
That's something like that.
That's amazing.
Imagine navigating by the stars and indeed these symbols.
It really gives you a sense of a connected world.
I know, even back then.
It's incredible
Yeah, it is incredible.
how something that seems so simple can have so many possible meanings.
It really is.
And the fact that we still don't have a definite answer,
I know.
but it just makes it even more interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
There's so much we don't know.
And that's the beauty of it.
Plus, the style of the marking.
Yeah,
It varies depending on where you find them.
that's right.
The ones in Scotland are often super complex.
Yeah, they can have tons of cups and rings.
Like that one in Scotland with over 65 cups.
I know.
It's almost like a visual language.
Right.
Then you have the Italian ones,
Which are way simpler.
like minimalist almost.
Yeah, totally different.
And don't even get me started on the Scandinavian stone.
Uh-huh. They're different too.
Totally different size and technique.
It's like they all started with the same basic idea.
The cups and rings.
Yeah.
But then each culture kind of did their own thing with it.
I know.
Yeah, they took the idea and ran with it.
That's a good way to put it.
It's like they were all speaking the same language, but with different dialects and accent.
I like that analogy.
Thanks.
So we've got this global phenomenon,
Yeah.
but also this incredible regional diversity.
I know.
Which is super important when we start to think about what these markings might mean.
Okay, so let's dig into that.
You ready?
Absolutely. Let's go.
So, you ready to explore what these symbols might have actually meant?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm all ears.
All right. Well, it gets pretty interesting when you look at the pattern.
Like, what kind of patterns are we talking about here?
Well, one that pops up all the time is the concentric circle.
Okay.
You know, like a circle within a circle.
Yeah, I know what a concentric circle is.
It's not just on cup and ring stones either.
Really?
Yeah, it shows up in ancient art like everywhere.
So, like all over the world.
Pretty much.
So what does it mean, though?
It's probably more than just a cool design.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems like there's going to be more to it than that.
Yeah, researchers think it's connected to, like, this whole idea of animism.
Animism.
Yeah.
Remind me what that is again.
It's the belief that everything in nature has a spirit.
Oh, right.
Like trees, rocks, rivers, everything.
Okay.
The concentric circle might represent that. you know?
Present what?
That idea that everything is connected, like the cycle of life, death, and rebirth.
So it's like a visual representation of how they saw the world.
Exact. Their whole world.
Their understanding of the universe.
And their place in it. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Then there's the spiral.
Oh yeah, the spiral. See those.
Another super common one.
Where do they show up?
Well, in cup and ring stones, obviously.
Yeah.
But also, like, all over the place.
Geographically.
Yeah. Scotland, the Americas, everywhere.
So what do spirals represent then?
Well, think growth, transformation, like the journey of life.
So the circle is about interconnectedness, and the spiral is about the journey.
Yeah.
Man, they really were thinking about some deep stuff.
I know, right?
Like the big question.
The really big question.
It makes it even cooler when you connect those symbols to similar ones in other cultures.
Well,
Like, what kind of connection?
Well, the spiral, for example, makes me think of the Minoan labyrinth.
The one from Greek mythology?
Yeah, the one at the Minotaur.
Okay, but how are they connected?
It's that idea of a journey, you know?
The labyrinth is a journey.
Yeah, it's all twisty and turny.
And life is like that too.
Exactly. And the spiral is just like a visual way to show that.
That makes sense.
It's like they were trying to capture that same concept.
I'm starting to see how these seemingly simple symbols
Yeah.
can actually be about way bigger ideas.
It's all about how humans experience the world, really.
It is pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, and there's the Celtic Triskelion, too.
What's that?
It's like a three-armed spiral.
Oh, okay.
Represents growth, expansion, all that.
The connection between the mind, body, and spirit.
Exactly.
So we've got spirals for journeys and circles for unity.
Mm-hmm.
What other symbols should we be on the lookout for?
Oh, man. There are tons.
Really?
And each one probably adds like another whole layer to the story.
Oh.
The thing is, all these symbols, even from different cultures,
Yeah.
they seem to be talking about the same basic human experience.
It's true. They do kind of all have that same vibe.
The journey of life, how everything's connected, the cycles of nature.
Like they were all trying to say the same things.
I know, right?
Even though they were separated by like tons of distance.
And totally different culture.
It really makes you think about like the universality of the human experience.
You got it.
How we all ask the same questions about life and death and all
And
that.
just figure out our place in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And they use these symbols to do that.
To express all that.
To share their beliefs.
And maybe even to talk to future generations.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is. And humbling.
It really makes you realize that these weren't just like primitive.
Doodling on rocks.
Yeah, they were sophisticated thinkers.
Artists.
Storytellers.
Using symbols to communicate all these complex ideas.
Yeah, we've come a long way from territorial markers, haven't we?
Uh-huh. That's true.
But remember, we're talking about cultures that didn't have writing.
Oh, right.
So we have to figure out their stories from the clues they left behind.
Which are
These symbols.
carved in stone.
You got it.
So even with all our technology and fancy analysis,
Yeah.
the true meaning of cup and ring stones is still a mystery.
Well, yeah, to a large extent.
Yeah, that's kind of
I
frustrating.
know, but that's also what makes them so interesting.
I guess so.
They make us curious.
And they make us think differently.
And they remind us that there's still so much we don't know.
It's like this giant puzzle with missing pieces.
I like that.
We might never have the complete picture,
Probably not.
but we can keep looking for those pieces.
Exactly. And we have more tools to do that than ever before.
Like what?
Well, there's 3D scanning for one.
3D scanning.
To create digital models of the stone.
What's the point of that?
Well, it lets us see things we might have missed before.
Like what kinds of things?
Subtle features, patterns, things like that.
That's pretty neat.
Then there's quantum dating.
Quantum dating. I've heard of that, but I don't really know what it is.
It's pretty wild, actually. Well, it uses like quantum mechanics to figure out how old the stones are.
Really? How does that even work?
So basically, it looks at the decay of certain atoms within the stone.
Okay.
And by measuring how much they've decayed, scientists can estimate the age.
And it's accurate.
Super accurate.
Wow, that's amazing.
So we're using cutting edge science to learn about these ancient symbols.
That's so cool.
And as we get more data, we can refine our timeline.
Wow.
See how these different styles and patterns spread all over the world.
It's like we're getting a clearer picture of the past with every new piece of information.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a high-tech time machine.
You could say that.
It's amazing that even after all this time, we're still trying to figure out what these cup and ring stones are all about.
I know, right? It's like we find more pieces of the puzzle, but it only gets more complex.
They really capture your imagination, though, don't they?
Oh, yeah. They have this certain allure, like something mysterious.
Like we might uncover some hidden truth about the past if we just keep looking.
And any new discovery could change everything we thought we knew.
Like with quantum dating.
Yeah, exactly.
Helping us figure out how old these stones really are.
With amazing accuracy, too.
It's like we're getting closer and closer to a clear picture of what was going on back then.
And then you've got 3D scanning.
Right.
We can analyze the tiniest details now.
In a way that wasn't even possible before.
It's like having a microscopic view of the past.
We're finding stuff that was totally hidden before.
Patterns, alignments, even tool marks.
It gives us clues about how skilled those ancient carvers were.
And how much knowledge they had.
I could just imagine some archaeologist out there with their 3D scanner feeling like you're about to crack the code.
Yeah, every new finding has the potential to change everything.
Rewrite history.
Exactly.
But you know what? I have this feeling that we'll never really know for sure.
You mean about what the symbols mean?
Yeah, like we'll always be a little bit in the dark.
I think you're right, but honestly, I think that's part of what makes them so fascinating.
Yeah, you have a point.
They challenge us to think in new ways.
To be open to different possibilities.
And to admit that we don't know everything.
It's good to be reminded of that sometimes.
That's for sure.
It's not all about finding the answer.
It's about the journey.
And the journey with these stones is definitely a wild one.
Oh yeah, you got all these different symbols.
Pattern.
It's mind-boggling.
Simple cut marks,
Complex ring system,
spirals, crosses.
and even some that we have no idea what they mean.
It's like each stone is telling its own story.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder what they were trying to say.
Were they messages?
Or were they recording events?
Maybe they were just trying to express how they felt about the world.
Who knows?
It's real mystery.
But even if we never know for sure.
We can still appreciate the skill it took to make them.
Artistry.
And their
The
creativity.
fact that they've survived for so long is amazing.
Thousands of years.
Through wars and natural disasters.
They're pretty powerful if you ask me.
They show us that even the simplest things can have deep meaning.
And they connect us to the past.
So we've come to the end of our deep dive into the world of cup and ringstone.
That's right.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little bit awestruck.
Me too.
They've really made me think,
Question what I thought I knew.
and I definitely want to learn more.
That's the magic of these ancient symbols.
They make you want to explore and ask questions.
And connect with something bigger than yourself.
They remind us that we're part of this huge human story that goes back thousands of years.
A story that's still being written.
Who knows what we'll discover next?
I'm excited to find out.
If you want to go even deeper on this topic,
Yeah.
check out Amazon Kindle and Google Playbooks.
There's so much information out there.
Books, articles, documentaries.
It's all waiting for you.
So keep exploring
Keep asking questions.
and never stop being curious.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We'll see you next time.